Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Andy, and I teach developers AI strategies to help businesses automate tasks, save time, and increase profits. So today, I'll be going through this tutorial on building an AI-powered social media content generator that I call Socialify. Socialify is designed to automate the creation of social media content from blog posts using AI models such as GPT-3, GPT-4, Claude 3, and our favorite open source model, Llama 3. In this tutorial, we'll go through the code and learn how to build this application step by step. So let me go over the project. Socialify is a Python-based web application built using Streamlit for the front-end UI. It scrapes blog posts from a given blog post URL, then it generates the summary and creates engaging captions for multiple social media platforms. Platforms such as Twitter or X, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and much more. The generated content can be exported to a CSV file with options to even include the blog post URL in the content, provide you the complete summary, and even generate each platform in a separate CSV file. I use Streamlit because it's one of my favorite Python libraries that helps me quickly build interactive web apps for my AI projects. To me, it's a game changer for creating user-friendly interfaces to showcase my AI solutions to my clients. Now, I'm going to show you how the Socialify app works, and then I'm going to go through the code step by step and show you exactly how I build it. First, I'm going to input my blog URL here. Then I'm going to put in my target audience, which is AI automation consultants. Then I'm going to click enter, and now Socialify is going to go to my blog site and get all the URLs from that website. So then I'm going to click on the drop down here, and then I'm going to select the post that I want to create content for, content to share on X, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, etc. So I will select this blog post here, and I'm going to select this blog post here, and I'll select this blog post here as well. Next, I'm going to select the platform that I want to create the content for. I will create, let's say I'll select Instagram, I'll say Twitter, and I'll say my Facebook page. So now I can tell Socialify to include the blog post URL in the content. I'll tell Socialify to also provide me the summary of the blog post. And for this session, I will have all the content basically all in one CSV file. So if I check this box here, it would have a CSV file for the Instagram content, the X content, and the Facebook page content. But for this testing session, I'll just generate it all in one file. So then I'll click on generate. Now you can see on the back end how it's processing the first blog post or article. The content generation just completed, and you can see that the content was written to this file here, which I'll show you in a second. So we created content for these 3 blog posts here, for these 3 platforms here, which is Instagram, Twitter/X, Facebook page, and we decided to include all the content in one file. And you can see that it ran through these 3 blog posts and it wrote it to the CSV file. You'll see that the file was exported here, which you see here, and I'll show you the file in a second. And we went through these 3 articles here. Now I'm going to show you the file and how the content output looks like. First, you can see that the output file is here. So I'm going to click on it so you can actually see the output using GPT-4. All right, so this is the file, the output file in CSV format, which I'm opening up in numbers. So you can see the columns. So we have the blog post URL column, the summary column, and then each individual platform. This is the Instagram copy, the Twitter copy, the Facebook page copy here. And I've tested this in all 3 of the models. I've tested this in many different models, and the one that I like the most is actually Claude 3 Sonnet. It's pretty good, and also Llama 3 is pretty good as well. Sometimes a GPT doesn't provide me the content that I always want, but again, you can go and adjust the prompts, you can adjust the model parameters to really work the way you want it. Now I'm going to show you how I built Socialify. The application starts at the main.py file here. This is the main file that sets up the Streamlit web application. It imports necessary libraries and helper functions from the helper directory. it imports necessary libraries and helper functions from the helper directory. The get blog links function uses the BlogUrlFinder function to fetch blog post URL from the given website. The generate caption function handles the generation of social media caption using the selected AI model. So for example, if I comment out the Grok model here and I set the Claude model, then we'll be using that model here instead. But one enhancement that you could do, that I'll probably do myself, is I will go and add a select model drop down here where the user can actually select the model and switch between models, so we don't manually have to comment it out in the main.py file here. Now the Streamlit components like the input, multi-select, checkboxes are all found here. So the way it works is when the user inputs their blog URL and enter the audience, which is optional, which you can see here, it's optional. So if the user doesn't actually enter it, we'll just enter the audience as general. Initially, we pass in an empty list of the platform and also the links. So when the user clicks enter, the blog URL finder goes and gets all the blog URLs, and then it returns it in the drop down, which the user can select here. And then once the user actually selects the platform and these optional fields here that could be true or false, and they click generate, then it passes all that information to the model to actually generate the content. And I'll go through that function for you in a second. The blog URL finder class is responsible for finding the blog URL from the given website. It attempts to find the sitemap URL by checking common path like sitemap.xml and parsing the robot.txt file. If the sitemap is found, it uses the fetch URLs from sitemap, including nested sitemaps. But if no sitemap is found, it falls back to scraping the main blog page using attempt scrape site for blog URLs method. The attempt scrape site for blog URL method uses Beautiful Soup to parse the HTML content and extract blog post URLs based on certain criteria. And one of the important things that I made sure that I did was I excluded things like tags, categories, author, comment pages, archive pages, login pages, search, etc., right? Because there's a lot of different pages that may exist on a blog site or website that we don't need. Really what we want is the blog content, and we don't want any additional pages. You can actually go in here and adjust these exclusion patterns. In addition, if you want to actually test this class, you can actually run it here by manually inputting your website and run Python blog URL finder.py and see how it works and make any adjustment. Next, I'm going to go through the social media caption tool.py file and show you how those work. Okay, so again, going back to the main.py file, this method here is used to get the URLs from the site. And then once we get the URLs from the site, we're going to pass that to the generate caption function. And the generate caption function uses library here, which is newspaper library, to actually get the content from that page using the URL that came from this function here. As you could go back to the main.py file, you could see how first we're getting the content, we're using the URL, and then we're gonna pass that content to our generate summary function, which is gonna summarize the content of the page, and then it's going to take that content and pass it to the generate social media caption function. And so we're gonna pass the summary, the links, the platform, and also URL, because on the front end, we may have said include blog post URL in the content. And also if we say include summary in the file, that summary that was generated here is gonna be also included in the file. Then once we do that, we generate the captions or content, and then we go and write that caption into the CSV file, and also we timestamp that CSV file as well. In the requirements.txt file, you can find all the libraries that we're using. We're using Streamlit for our front end, the request libraries to make requests. This is for our environment variables. That way those can remain secret. And if you go into I'm not going to show you my API keys, of course, but I have some examples here that you can look at. You can set your models here. For example, we have the OpenAI model, the Grok model, and the Anthropic model. We're using Pandas, we're using the OpenAI library, newspaper library to get the text from the content, a beautiful suit to be able to parse HTML, and of course the Anthropic library as well. So going back to the main.py file, once we submit, the generate caption function runs, and then it output the file into the main directory, which you see here. And a few additional tips is to make sure that you set up all the required API keys and the .env file. And I gave you an example here. So when you run this yourself, just make sure that you just remove the .example and just add the keys here. All the information on how to set up the project can be found in the README file here. I use Conda environment for each of my projects, and I have instructions on how to create a Conda environment and then run the Conda environment. Make sure you check out the README file. It'll teach you how to set up the project. In the description, I will include the link to the GitHub repo so you can actually clone the project and run it yourself. Experiment with different AI models to see which one generates the best caption for your content. Go ahead and customize the prompts and platform-specific settings to see how the output differs. To wrap up, Socialify demonstrates how AI models can be leveraged to automate content generation for numerous social media platforms. By combining web scraping, summarization, and AI-powered caption generation, it simplifies the process of creating engaging social media content for blog posts. Feel free to customize and extend this application to suit your specific needs and integrate it into your content creation workflow. I hope you found this very informative and gained a lot of insights into building AI-powered content generation tools. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more tutorials on AI and web development. Till next time, happy coding.